are watching Gov's Radio. This is where you go if you want to see something or if you want to hear something funny. Coming up in just a couple minutes. This is a joke I told. What? I'm not on Gov Radio? Call the police. Call my agent.
Tony, welcome to Go.
Hey, Joe, how are you?
I gotta pat you down though, pal.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Got anything on you? Anything I should know?
I got nothing.
Anything weird going on?
What?
Alright, you go in, Tony.
Good. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Tom Kelly of The Tom Kelly Show. Yes, this is not the only time I've gotten on my knees in the back room of a comedy club.
The Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show is also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. Give Two Eagles Auto Body a call and please ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527. That's 516-328-2527.
Hey, how do you say there, people? It's Johnny Brennan, creator of the Jerky Boys, also of Fox TV's Family Guy fame. I just want to let you know you're listening to Tony on the Knockem Dead Radio Show. They're gonna keep knocking them dead, so keep listening, you wacky sons of bitch. Right there. Over and out there, sweet Charlie.
Long time no see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man, at Knockem Dead Comedy Radio.
Hey Tony, you're not funny, and you probably shit yourself a lot, and you're no fun to be with, and you don't make that much money, and you're not going anywhere in show business, and I hope you get hit by a bus.
Hello, everybody. It's Friday. Yay! Welcome to the Knockem Day Comedy Show, everybody. It's Friday. Thanks for joining us here on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast, the YouTube channel, the Facebook page. If you'd like to participate in today's show and comment throughout the show and you want us to read your comments, please do so on the YouTube feed. That is where we're monitoring the comments. So if you're watching on Facebook, we appreciate it. But did you make it?
No, I double tapped though.
And it still did?
Pop, and then just went past.
Oh, so the answer is no.
All right, that should have been 2 points or double the points.
Should have been a lot of things, but you missed.
All right,
that's the bottom line.
All right, Mister, I'm being outsmarted by children.
Oh, I was totally outsmarted by children
Twice.
That's it. I thought it was more than that.
No, the two distinct times where they like, what do bees make? Hives was the answer, and it was like, ding! I hit the ding, ding, ding.
Yeah. The other one was actually, I said, what is a doe?
Yes, you said, what is a doe?
So technically, the kid's answer is wrong.
But it's a kid and it's articles, right? Like a versus the or whatever.
Right. Last night, Knockem Dead Comedy did a game show at Middle Country Library in Center Reach, which is about 45 minutes from here, North Shore,
like
Suffolk
10
County,
minutes from my house.
Which is why I asked Andy to come join me and help me out. And he did a fine job, I must say.
Yeah, I made one mistake, and it was kind of in the beginning and being like, oh, I need to be on top of this. There needs to be a pattern I go do after every single.
It was nothing. It was fun. We had a good time. We had a nice turnout. The room was pretty full.
Yeah,
I would say 3/4 full. They were all into it. We had a good time, and yes, I was outsmarted. So yeah, I asked a question once: what do bees make? And of course, I'm waiting for honey. But then the girl said hives.
I think that was Selena. She was sitting in my row.
Yeah.
And was very competitive and very into trivia.
And we did. All the adults just kind of, like everybody read my face. Like, and I knew I was expecting.
And I think it was like, there was this kind of like this moment, and I hit, ding! Like, she got it right.
Totally got it right. And then the other question is, what is a doe? Which I'm expecting a female deer. And the kid said it's what you bake.
Yeah, what you make bread out of.
Yeah. Same thing. All the adults, all of a sudden, we all just looked at
I was like, ding!
Okay, yeah.
Oh, that was funny. But I will say that middle country kids are not as... I told my daughters came with. I found them in the adult anime or manga section of the library. No, they were at the kids section. They actually talk shit about the adult. They're like, the adult section sucks. Like, all right. But I was like, dude, you guys could have cleaned up.
Oh, totally would have cleaned up.
They would, like, those...
That's why I thought they would possibly be into it.
They wanted nothing to do with... manga? There's manga in this building?
Right.
Yeah, they're addicts, and yeah.
But it went well in that sense. I mean, I'm assuming they were occupied the whole time. They weren't bored the whole hour.
They'll sit down and read the entire time. Like, that's
cool.
It's absolutely it's a brag because it is awesome. Like they they really can handle themselves.
But all right, so which had nothing to do with you, but the kids themselves, I was shocked because I started the show and I even said, "Who's excited about being in a library during the summer?"
Yeah,
every single kid raised their hand.
Those kids love that library, and it was funny.
I was going to say, what's wrong with you people?
Some of their answers, the way they answered and whatever, you could tell that these
are educated kids.
They really were. I mess around that I still think Three Village could totally smash down Middle Country, but who am I?
I thought honey was horse shit, says Fremder.
Was bee shit?
Did I say horse shit?
You sure did.
Oh, sorry about that. I thought honey was...
It's actually, I think, isn't it like bee vomit? I think it's closer to bee vomit than bee shit.
I think you're right about that. Yeah. John Rusiello says good morning.
Hey.
John Rusiello knew our guest yesterday.
I think that's part of where I... nice dick!
Thank you. Look how it's standing erect.
Look at Dick. You got a great dick right there. It's an old dick.
Oh, it's a 99-year-old
dick. That is very old dick.
So, and that is Tony G. He's right. Oh no, that's him. That's Tony G. He's the one who built this Chitty Chitty Bang Bang car, and he was our guest yesterday. He said he spent over $100,000 to build to build this car, which is
That sounds like a good time and money well spent.
that's hey, to each their own with their time, but
Right.
But if I'm one of his kids, I'd be like,
Yeah. You don't even know what my favorite color is, Dad.
right. Maybe when he dies, the kids will sell the. I hope I should have asked him that yesterday because I did ask him. I said, what'd your kids think of that? Oh, my kids are great. They're fine. But I should have asked him, the kids get the car when you die.
Well,
Because then they can cash in.
no. The car gets the kids when I die.
I left the car to Dick Van Dyke.
Right.
But
Dick'll outlive all of us.
that Dick will just keep on going.
Well, that's one of my high jokes. Is I feel like I spend way too much brain power on figuring out which is Dick Van Dyke and which is Dick Van Patten.
Right. Yes, I've heard you do
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Well, one's dead, one's not.
Yeah, but it's still. I always have to pause and go, Dick Van Dyke. Was it Charles Goonan? Penis.
God bless.
Sorry, penis truck lesbian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, something like that is Dick Van Dyke's name.
And actually, Fremder actually said something funny yesterday, and I don't remember what it was. He said something like penis vehicle lesbian. I think
Charles Goonan's the first person years ago I heard say that.
Yeah. Fremder again. Chitty chitty bang bang is the sound that came from my bathroom this morning. And here comes our daily call, and hopefully not a scolding.
Scowling.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm all right. How about yourself?
Listen, there's something wrong here. I can't figure it out. There's something wrong here. 3 weeks in a row, Plagainos looks good. I mean, he's shaved.
Does baby look good for Daddy? Daddy, are you happy?
Right.
You happy, Daddy?
I'm very happy.
Daddy.
Your hair is well groomed as much as you possibly do with that hair.
Yeah, no, trust me, I know. I live with it.
Do you ever think of shaving?
My mustache?
No. Your mustache is awesome.
It's trademark.
That's right. You were a cop.
Those 20 strands of hair you got on top of your head.
Yeah, no, I've gone through. I've been lazy and shaved. I've gone through long periods of my life where I've shaved my head.
Yeah, well, I just want to comment on your groomness.
Thank you.
All right, and I got to tell you something. My grandchildren go to a library in Jersey, and they rather go to a library than go to the movies. They love it. They think it's fantastic.
I'm surprised. I'm most surprised that there are libraries in New Jersey.
I have to agree with him there.
Let me tell you, some parts of Jersey are very nice. I have to say, where my daughter lives, she lives in Wayne, and it's very, very nice there.
You know what my dad used to say about Wayne is if you spit in Wayne, it'll flood there. They have like a flooding problem.
That was in Pompton Lakes. That's close to Wayne, but Pompton Lakes, still floods. Yeah, it still floods. All right, but part of Long Island. I mean, look, you go to Mastic Beach, forget about it. Mastic Beach, they need snorkels.
Yes, that's true.
All right, guys, well, go ahead, Tom. Talk to me.
There was a cartoon when I was a kid called The Snorkel. So I just imagined somebody eating snorkels, which were like these animal, like creatures that lived under the sea. Anyway, go on.
I don't know what he's talking about either, John.
I have no idea. All right, listen, guys, have a wonderful show. Andy, keep up the good work.
Yeah, likewise.
Hey, I hope you feel well, man.
Yeah.
I'm hanging in there, man. Hanging in there.
All right.
All right. Talk to you later.
See you,
Bye-bye.
John.
Bye.
John, yeah, he sounded
I felt like he
rough.
sounded like he was hiding from the Nazis or something at first. Like he was under the covers or something and didn't want somebody to know he was there.
No, knowing what's going on with him, I immediately just was like, oh, the poor guy is not having a good day. So, hope your day gets better, John, and
I hope the rest of your day is filled with cocaine and hookers.
Or at least one of the two. Jerry Lahane is watching. Good morning, Jerry.
Hey, Jerry.
Liked and shared and scrubbed behind the ears. Very good, Jerry. Fremder, back in school, I used to hang out in the library all the time so I could smell her bookcase, her book crease. Oh, my goodness. The jokes are bad enough, and then I screw them up. Hey, yeah, and do like Jerry did, and subscribe and hit the thumbs up and share and do all that social media stuff. That
Oh,
we
I guess
appreciate.
they were called the Snorks.
Lighting is good, but sound is great. Oh, all right, cool. Thanks, Jerry. What's
These
that?
were the Snorks.
The Snorks.
Which when I think of snorkel, I always think of the Snorks.
We're only 5 years apart, so when you were born, I was still watching cartoons.
1984 to 1988. That's
Oh, all right, so that's a big difference there.
Yeah.
Because when
No,
I'm
that's-
14, I wasn't watching something like that.
and those
I've never heard of them.
Those age differences are more significant when you're younger.
Well, I agree with that. Yes, you're absolutely right.
And the older you get, they become less, and then it becomes myopic, where it's like Buck Rogers. I love Buck Rogers, but there's people who are only like a couple of years younger than me who had no clue about Buck Rogers,
Right.
Because it was off. It wasn't on.
Right.
It wasn't in syndication. There were only 2 seasons, and that was my favorite show when I was like 5 and 6 years old.
But you would think they would hear of it, though, because of Aaron Gray.
Well, they know who Aaron Gray is because of Silver Spoons,
Right.
Because that came after Buck Rogers.
Oh, yeah, true. We got to get her on this show, man. Once in a while, her name pops up somewhere, like at a Comic-Con or something, but not really. And I've looked because I've tried to get her on here for you, but there's no official Instagram, no official Twitter.
She's not living a public life, probably.
Well,
anyway.
she should be, or which would make it that much easier to get her on here.
I would like her to live a pubic life on my pubic area.
If we did get her and she said to you, "Yeah, you can make out with me for a minute," would Becca? Would you get the green light from Becca?
I don't know, because we have a kitchen pass, right? Like hall pass, whatever, and it's Mila Jovovich.
Oh,
for both of us.
Nice. All right.
Dude, both of us.
Good
They're
enough.
like, hey, whoever she wants to be with, we're totally fine with the other one because we're gonna get the story and maybe.
Oh, so you're not a package deal.
It could be whatever Mila wants to do.
Right.
That's really where what it comes down to.
Very nice.
Because both of us absolutely love Mila Jovovich.
Wow. Rusiello says, "Hookers, yes. Coke, I leave that for you." And now friend is making fun of me for not.
Where'd you leave it?
So anyway, yeah. So we had a great show yesterday, and I thank you for coming down. It was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. I was trying to feel my way through it, and I felt like me heckling you and booing certain questions and whatnot.
Oh, that was great. It was exactly how we do it.
Rock and roll.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, we have fun, we joke around. No, that's exactly how we do it. Jerry Lane, I watched cartoons from the 60s to 72. Puberty hit late. How old are you, Jerry? Or how old were you at that time?
45.
Exactly.
I didn't realize I was going to have 2 testicles. I always wondered why they said balls.
And speaking of famous people, we broke the news yesterday during the show, but Shelley Duvall died yesterday.
Yeah.
And now, I don't know, I'm tempted to get Nick Grayson on the phone because...
And he's large.
What a great... I love that movie.
Popeye saw that in the theater. My uncle took us to see that.
Me, my brother, my mother, we saw it in the theater. And at the time, I loved the music. I think the music is great. Yeah. But at the time, I didn't really know anything about Harry Nilsson, who wrote all that music.
Right.
Now, these days, probably the past maybe 15, 20 years, I'm a huge Harry Nilsson fan. He's been dead, I think, 30 years. But there's a great documentary on him. And some of his music is just unbelievable. And he did the Popeye soundtrack. And they have since released like his demos where you hear him singing it. But yeah, that's a great soundtrack, man.
Right.
What, am I geeking out?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
I'm I love that movie. It came out at I was 5.
Yeah.
The movie came out at 80, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Like,
I'm a big Popeye guy too. So
yeah, well, that's absolutely. And you know, I remember I was in the Air Force. I got like drunk. I was going through like just going crazy being in North Dakota. I felt very lonely, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and I went into the day room to watch TV, and Popeye was on. And it was a particular cartoon where he is walking Sweet Pea around downtown San Diego, trying to get Sweet Pea to go to sleep.
Yeah,
right?
okay, that rings a bell. Yeah.
And just regular life he walks past the School of Music. And the people are like, oh, all this noise, and Sweepy's waking up. And he goes and he beats the fuck out of everybody in the School of Music. I was like, I kind of had this epiphany of like,
That's awesome.
Popeye's a dick. Like, bro, don't take him around don't take Sweepy around downtown San Diego, like where there's traffic. Because that's one of the things is like there's this intersection and there's honking going on. And he walks into the middle of the intersection, punches the first car, which of course causes huge accident that way. All 4 directions he does it. I'm like, this guy's a fucking menace. Where's Bluto to keep this guy under fucking... he was making me a Bluto fan.
Oh, yeah, Bluto was obnoxious, but... Well, he wasn't very good, though.
No, he was a dick. No, absolutely.
So they're both dicks.
But
they're both just drunken sailors.
Exactly. But I'm like, am I supposed to have sympathy that he can't get this baby to go to sleep?
Right.
I don't. I think he's got fucking severe anger management issues and maybe some processing issues.
But that's the beauty of those cartoons. He just punches everything.
It's like I started thinking like it would be hilarious if they did like a movie mashups, right?
Okay.
Of Popeye as played by Dustin Hoffman. As the role of Rain Man, like Rain Man and Popeye, Rain Pie, Pop Man. I don't know, but that and so it'd be like 467,500, and he fucking punches somebody,
right?
Like, no, you what you didn't put? You turned off Wapner. You turned off Wapner.
Well, he was. He did flip out. Raymond, he did flip out from time to time.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But like, could you imagine he's got Popeye power when he's
awesome.
Freaking out?
Because Tom Cruise was a dick in that movie.
Yes,
well, the character.
Right. Say. So we make that Pluto. Pluto is Tom Cruise. His brother. Right. Is Popeye's actual retcon the whole thing. And yeah.
What was Tom Cruise's character's name?
Danny? No. Because it was Raymond.
We all know Raymond. Charlie Babbitt.
Yeah, Charlie. Yeah, Charlie Babbitt. Charlie Babbitt's my brother. Yeah. Charlie Babbitt.
Yeah, what was it? They used to sing something together or something. Charlie Babbitt sings. All right, so Jerry was 12 when he was still watching those cartoons. And Robert Altman directed Popeye.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Frank.
I mean, that Shelley Duvall was his muse, was she not?
Yes.
In a way.
Yes. Bluto was just a tad rapey.
Yeah.
Right, and John says, Popeye was beating up all those people without
spinach.
Right.
I forget what the situation. I think Sweepy was in danger because he was an idiot and beating people up for no reason.
And left Sweepy
ended up like going down like a fucking like a hill or something. And now he's got to go where there's a hill in San Diego. I don't know.
Right,
but all of a sudden, yeah. So,
oh no, I'm a terrible parent.
I gotta look up like the original.
I had to beat up some CPS investigators.
I gotta watch. I gotta
negligent parent.
I gotta look it up. The original black and white Popeyes. I mean, the actor, whoever voiced it, like this guy. This guy had free reign.
Yeah,
because he would read the script, but then like the cartoon mouth wasn't even moving. This guy'd be mumbling, and it was the funniest shit.
Yeah.
It was so fun. I love those. Plus, I love the animation of those original black and white cartoons. But like to me, it's unmatched.
Yeah.
It's so good, the animation. But whoever that guy was that voiced it, that guy was a comedic genius.
Yeah.
So I did contact Nick Greystone.
Okay.
So Shelley Duvall, who passed away yesterday, she got out of the business too. Oh, that's what reminded me. We were talking about Erin Gray not being in the business anymore. Same thing. Shelley Duvall.
It's the only way that we're going to talk about the two of those people together.
Oh, absolutely right. Yeah, they don't have anything else in common.
I mean, I did go through a phase where I'm like, I guess I could probably bang her.
I think at her best she was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like End of Night.
Good actress.
Oh yeah.
But as far as looks, yeah, she was okay. Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah,
but it makes me think of Nick Greystone because she got out of the movie business for many years. Nick Greystone was producing a film a year or two ago. Nick Greystone, who you'll see next Thursday, or this coming Thursday, he's back.
Oh, nice. Good for him. I
Yeah,
hope
he's been
well.
back.
Yeah.
He's been back. He's done 2 or 3 shows.
Okay.
Last night we were off because of me, because I had the game show, so I couldn't do it. He wanted to do it last night, but I think he's going to do 2 or 3 shows a month, which is great. Yeah, because his show's fun. He's a great dude. But yeah, he produced a film about a year or 2 ago. Somehow they got Shelley Duvall to do it.
Oh, wow.
And in fact, he just posted pictures and stuff of him with her. So I just texted him. I said, "Was her last film your movie?" And sure enough, he wrote back, "Yes, sir."
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of wild.
That's kind of cool. That's super cool.
That's pretty. That's fun stuff. That's wild. That's
wacky, wild
yes.
stuff. Wacky.
That was my Dana Carvey impersonation of his impersonation of Johnny Carson.
Crazy. Did you remember Carcinio? That was
Oh,
my favorite ever when he did Carcinio.
Yep.
With like the extended fingers and the flat top. The fade.
What was it? Karnak? Was that the
Karnak? My favorite one, and it's actually ripped off from a bit by Rich Little. He holds the envelope to his head and he goes, "A catcher's mitt, a first baseman's mitt, or glove." He says glove. Be apparent in a second. A single, a triple, and Dolly Parton. Rips it open.
Right, yeah.
Takes it out and goes, 2 mitts, 2 hits, and...
That's great, man.
Rich Little, man. Like, whatever special it was, kind of like in the mid-'80s.
Yeah.
That was... I've always...
Really
that,
funny.
to me, is always the Karnak bit.
Right.
Is thinking about Rich Little doing...
That is great.
Johnny Carson doing Karnak.
No, I don't. John Rusciello says it was Mel Blanc. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think...
I'm not going to totally disagree, but
we had, if only we had some way of knowing.
Right. Yeah, John Rusciello saying it was Mel Blanc. It's cute that you guys are rating Shelley Duvall's looks. I know, because, we're 2 Adonises right
And
here.
listen, I know I'm not great looking, but fuck you, I'm a much better looking man than she was a woman. Okay? like legitimately. Like,
when was that? Maybe 2 or 3 years ago. We actually asked that question on this show. Somebody said something about Andy being handsome, and I challenged it. And remember that, though? We had...
Oh, that's because
There was
Sally... it was Sally.
Yeah.
Joan
Croupier.
Elizabeth Batby.
And Carol.
Yeah, I think that was like...
That's where the whole thing with the shirts stemmed from.
Right.
And they all were saying what a handsome guy Andy is.
I can't help it if there's mentally ill people in this world.
And that's why me and Sally broke up, actually. She yelled your name out in the middle of the night.
Billy Costello.
Billy Costello was his name?
Yep.
Or was his name?
From Rhode Island. Voice of Popeye the Sailor.
Maybe, unless Mel Blanc did it later, some of the crappy colored Popeye
yeah,
cartoons.
because he died in 71.
Right.
Years active 21 through 37. So all those early ones are going to are this guy.
Yeah.
And then the ones in the 50s and 60s.
Wow, so those cartoons are over 100 years old?
They're getting there.
Well, didn't you say 21?
That he was active as an actor.
Oh, okay, yeah. Wow.
And some of those original ones were definitely the 30s.
Oh, sure. And, same with the Little Rascals. It's 100 years coming up for them, too.
Because I went to Popeye the Sailor himself, and inspirational fiction, comics, anybody... Portrayals. William Costello, Jack Mercer is probably the one that we're all... Jack Mercer and Floyd Buckley, Harry Foster Welsh, these all are during like the 40s and 50s and 60s.
Okay.
Mae Questal? Alan Swift? And 1980 is Robin Williams.
Right.
These are all the people who portrayed
a lot of
him.
Popeyes.
Oh, yeah, and of course Billy West.
Oh, Billy West did it
in a commercial.
Oh, in a
Minute
commercial?
Maid commercial, and then he did Popeye's Voyage: The Quest for Pappy.
That movie was
see it.
awful.
Was it?
That Paul Reiser had something to do with it. Did he write it or he produce it or something? Oh, it was terrible.
I'm about to see, because that's the thing. Yep, written by Paul Reiser and Jim Hardison. Look at you.
Look at me. But he's the good-looking one.
Kathy
so
Bates also did a voice.
Oh, yeah?
For that.
And your friender says Shelley Didval.
Tabitha St. Germain as, let's see if Tabitha St. Germain, she's probably about, okay, definitely Shelley Duvall is hotter than Tabitha St. Germain.
So she voiced Popeye in the Paul Reiser, voiced
this is in the Paul
Olive
Reiser.
Oil in the Paul Reiser thing? Okay. Frank C., I remember that used to watch, what? I remember that we used to watch black and white Popeye short film in gym when it rained, and Felix the Cat. Yeah, actually, I think we did too. Jerry Lehane, Mel Blanc was Warner Brothers tunes. Right, greatest of all time. Frank C. says, first Popeye was 1933, 91 years ago. Oh, my goodness.
Again, I have a Billy West autograph picture. I got to find it, and I'll bring it in sometime.
We should try and get him.
I would love that. Because Billy,
yeah, I know that's a big deal for
and
you.
even he, much like Mike's, I've had this experience with Zach Galifianakis as well, where I was somewhere where they were. Like, Zach Galifianakis was walking towards us. We were out in Sag Harbor at that theater, Bay Street Theater or something like that.
Yeah, that's it, Bay Street. Yeah.
And he saw me because we were dressed in a very similar style.
Okay.
And so he started walking up because he was like, and he got sidetracked by very interesting people. They were there on a yacht, and the captain of the yacht was across and so as soon as he found out there was a yacht and there was a captain of a yacht, he was talking to them the entire time.
Oh.
But
because
Becca will tell you, like, he looked at me and like almost confused and like, why am I up there? Kind of thing, and started walking towards us, but then got sidetracked. Well, Billy West was, I was at at Icon in Stony Brook, and I went to his meet and greet. I went to the Q&A. I went to, he was on a panel. I watched the panel, and then he did the signing autograph thing in the dealer room in the gymnasium, and I went over, and there was nobody there. And I'm like, $20 to get, yeah, absolutely. And I was just like, Mr. West, I'm a huge fan because, like, I was a teenager for Ren and Stimpy, and I used to listen to him on Howard Stern when I was able to listen to Stern. And
was his time with Stern was after Ren and Stimpy, right?
Yeah. But that's what I'm talking. Like, it was like the progression through the years, then Futurama, and like he's just. And somebody, I started out primarily doing voices as a kid.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And it was something that I always thought that I was going to do. But
so if I'm able to get him, I mean, I'll try. Did Don have him?
I want to say he might have.
I think he
like
did.
a couple of years ago, kind of like pandemic period of time.
I'm going to try and get him, but if I do get him, you're going to have to do the preparation because I don't know Ren and Stimpy. I don't know Futurama. I've heard of them. I know of Ren and Stimpy.
You stupid idiot!
I never watched
What the hell is wrong with you,
of it.
Tony Walker?
I've nothing against them. I just never watched
Oh,
I've
gee,
never watched
man,
Futurama.
Don't be so hard on Tony Walker. I can't help it. He's such a stupid idiot.
I loved Ren and Stimpy. But I went up to him and I said, he's like, what do you want me to write? And I hadn't even thought of like, oh my God, he's going to write something. I just thought he was going to sign his name. And I'm like, how about you write a little cream ought to clear that right up.
Oh, yeah.
So that it's like, I met Billy West and I asked him advice about a rash that I have.
It makes it look like you two are buddies.
Right. Absolutely. It's definitely my Mookie moment.
Yes.
For sure. That's why I understand it. I don't give you too much shit for that because...
that was because I was paying extra for personalization.
Well, this was $20. This was $20. He was going to write it.
But that's what I'm saying. It was $25 just to get the autograph, another $25 to get personalization.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then definitely.
That's why I was like, then he's writing my best friend.
Yeah.
When I met Spanky, it wasn't extra. Because he did the same thing. What do you want me to write? He actually signed two things for me for the same. Actually, I think it was. Oh, I had to buy it. You had to buy his book. That's what it was. And this is 1991. I think the book was like $20.
Oh, right, yeah.
And he would sign anything. So I also bought a Little Rascals video. He signed that, and it said to Tony.
He's like, "Oh, nice to meet you. You're that guy, huh?
Yeah, right. You're the one.
You've been writing me all these years."
But then there was a 5x7 group shot of the Little Rascals, and that he looked right at me. He said, "What do you want me to write on this?" And I've told the story before. My nickname in high school was Buckwheat. So I said, will you write to Buckwheat? He goes, yeah, I think I can do that. And yeah, I still have it in a frame. To Buckwheat, love Spanky.
You jerked off so many times to that.
Oh, countless. And then Miss Crabtree, there used to be a restaurant in Flushing, was it? Somewhere in Queens, there was a restaurant called Crabtree's. And the guy that owned it was the woman who played Miss Crabtree. It was her nephew. So inside this restaurant was all sorts of Little Rascal stuff.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't know it. I was hired to do a murder mystery there one night. They had a back room, private room. And I walked in. I was like in heaven. Like nothing but Little Rascals everywhere you look. And I refused to leave. Mickey Delaney's watching.
Hey.
I heard Olive Oil was into fishing. Nice shirts. You guys look like the New York Times.
Well, see, what probably is not coming across is that this is green.
I don't know. It's coming across.
I don't know. It still looks kind of like dark, like it would be black. It could be black with like a green hue to it, but this is actually legitimately green.
I will vouch for him. It's legitimately green.
Great band too. Check them out, guys.
Yeah, Google them.
Google them. Steve Hampton and the Pineapple Boys.
Jerry Lehane, shocker. Jerry Lehane knew Billy West. I told Billy West on Stern tapes, you'll never be full-time on Stern just to get back on feet 3 days a week, Monday through Wednesday, Jackie, weekender, gigs, recovery. I did make sure Billy didn't get comfy and ripped off by Stern, protecting Billy from Stern abusing him. All right. John Russillo, I think celebrities that charge money for autographs are scum.
Well, there's a certain point where that's the only way that they can actually make money because
Right.
they've been so marketed as like a character, they can't
They're
do
typecast.
anything else.
Right. Look at the Brady kids. You know, they never did. Look at Gilligan's Island. Like all those guys.
Even somebody who did a lot of work, but sort of got typecast, Bill Mummy.
Oh, sure. Absolutely,
like,
Bill Mummy.
He needs to make money later on, but nobody's going to use him because they think of him as the kid from Twilight Zone, as the kid from Lost in Space, as the kid
Right.
from...
Well, Butch Patrick, who's on the Munsters, the son on the Munsters. But you can
did he do porn, though?
Oh, I don't know. Did he?
I think
Bonaducci did.
Yeah, Bonaducci, but I also think Eddie Munster. He did like in Eddie Munster.
The kid from Toy Story got into porn. The one, not the main kid, the one whose tongue got stuck on the pole. He went into porn.
All right, dude.
What?
Toy Story is an animated movie.
Did I say
You're
Toy
thinking
Story?
Christmas Story.
What?
You really need to go to that.
Yeah,
like,
I think
think there's some cognitive fucking.
But I when I'm saying it, I
This is
know
not
what
the first time that this has happened.
I saw a Christmas Story in my head, but
you
I
were
said-
right last week, and Hershey.
I won that bet.
Yes. No, I told you. I told you in real time.
Yes, you did.
Not in real time, because in real time I just like smiled and nodded and didn't say anything. But once we went off, and I said, no, legitimately, you absolutely said it.
Right.
And they misheard it.
That narcissistic little bitch, Mark Hirschman. I think we were still here that day. He's like, this was funny stuff. You got to post this. This was funny. I was like, yeah, I'll take care. I'll do that. Yeah, absolutely. 2 days later, he's like, he sends me a clip. He's like, you got to post this. This was a great clip. I said, Mark, I'm gonna take the video. I have a bunch. We post clips and shorts on the YouTube channel. And I said, I have a bunch already scheduled. You don't want to overdo it. Like the rule is you should only post maybe 2 a day. If it's too much, that kills your algorithms and all that garbage.
Okay.
So I said, yeah, Mark. I said, I have videos set for the next 2 weeks. I said, but then that'll be the next one. I'll start going through that one and I'll post.
Then he did it.
I get no response. The next day, Tone, do you mind if I just post it then? And I just give him a thumbs up. I'm like, what am I going to do? But then he posts it, and it's like 2 minutes long, which is not...
Yes, way too long.
He starts it in like mid-conversation, and then it ends like when I'm mid-sentence. I'm like, what?
I didn't watch it. I was there. You know what I'm saying? Like I loved it because I'm like, you tagged my name, and I will love it.
That was nice of him. He usually doesn't do that. He usually doesn't know any other comedian but himself.
Well, the first time I really talked to him was at Landolfi's party last year.
Okay.
I think it was last year. Might have been the year before, but we were all sitting at the same table, and it was like that awkward. I got there early. I'm trying to think. I think I was supposed to meet Billy there, and then Billy got sick or something. So then I was like by myself over there early.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting at a table with other comedians, and listen, it was great. Everybody half was there, so it was cool.
Carrie goes, yeah.
But this was like it was like a weird group that like it wasn't necessarily like a natural, but we all know each other.
Yeah, sure.
At least by name, and so like we kind of talked to each other, and I'm like, and he actually was like, "Oh, you're Andy, right?" And I was like, "Oh my God, you know who the fuck I am?"
Wow.
All right. Well, there you go.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
So, and then I know shortly after that he came in there was a Friday that he came in with us.
Right.
I think he was on his way to the Cow. That was the first time I heard that it was called the Cow.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Silly. What are they going to call it when they paint it?
Well, if it's blue, they'll say the blue.
You know, it used to be the Cow.
It'll always be the Cow.
My family, they moved to Port Jeff Station in 1955. Right around there. Upper Port, there was this place called Morelli's, and it was an auto body shop or like a mechanic of some sort.
Right.
Building wasn't used for years. All of a sudden, I'm going to try to remember the actual restaurant's name. The Long Island Lobster Company goes in there. It was at the top of the hill. Now it's down in Port in the Harbor Square Mall.
Yeah.
It's part of the Harbor Square Mall. But it used to be up at the top of the hill. Like right at the beginning of there's an intersection right there. It was the northeast corner. And my family never called it the Long Island Lobster Company. They called it Morelli's.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was the name of the fucking mechanic shop.
Mm-hmm.
And until finally they, like now, thank God my grandparents are dead. Because they knocked the building down. It's now, because like what they did in Patchogue, they're trying to do that like everywhere.
Revitalize?
And so that's now a giant apartment building.
Yeah.
Where Morelli's was. So.
Yeah, there's a big thing currently going on in Hicksville. Peppercorns, a restaurant that's been there forever. You came to see us there.
Yes, yeah.
They're closing.
I heard.
And so people in Hicksville are flipping out. Apparently that was...
Oh, yeah. Real, like super racist flipping out. The things I saw...
Racist?
Oh, my God.
What do you mean?
Complaining about how many South Asian people are there. Like Indians, Pakistanis. Like
people are actually saying that?
Oh, my God.
I haven't seen any of that.
Everywhere.
I mean, there is a big population for the...
But they're blaming Peppercorn's closing on these people. It's amazing. I was like, what the fuck? I mean, half of them are so sorry to see you go.
Right.
That sort of thing.
How are they blaming? Like
they're going, well, you know, if there wasn't so many Indians around, maybe the place could survive. And all this other, like, yeah, it's insanity. I'm like, what? Are you serious? Like, what do you think the original? My grandfather, he always used to say, I never had a locking gas cap until I moved to Long Island, because he was originally from Scranton, right? And he worked for the railroad. Meets my grandmother on the MTA, New York City Transit, and he hits on her. They go on dates. They get married. They lived in Long Beach in the government housing,
right?
And then ended up in out in Port Jeff,
right?
And that distracted the crap out of me.
All right, so we'll get back to it. Hi, honey.
Hello, how are you doing, Mr. Tony Walker?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am very happy to be announcing that I am buying peppercorn.
Now, wait a minute. Is this some sheet?
Some shit.
It is some sheet. I am moving away from the taxi business, and now I'm going to be cooking for people. I want to bring a little taste of India to the public, because people over in Hicksville are needing a taste of it. I'm going to call it Honey Bunches of Curry.
That's a great idea.
And I want Mr. Andy Plagainos to come visit it.
Will you go visit it?
Of course I will, Subsheet.
Oh, that is so wonderful. I don't know why people are so aggravated that the peppercorn pepper is going to be closing, whatever the place is. I am very sorry for the people, but they're going to have to change their taste bud.
The people are fighting against it because they want to build apartments there, and people are saying that the place is...
No, we're not building apartments. That's so silly. No, we're going to make it a very Class B restaurant.
Very nice.
Nice.
Will you have you'll have women working there?
But of course, we'll have the finest women that are going to be over there. They'll be serving you, and they'll be telling you that hospitality is our pleasure.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Will there be...
Yes. I don't know what you're talking about. Apartment. You don't want the apartment over there. And then the more people come over and move from India, we don't want any more. We got plenty.
Do you worry that you'll bring more people from India by opening up a restaurant and upsetting Hicksville people?
I don't know what their problem is. We are very sweet people. We are very nice people, and I don't know what their problem is. I mean, just because we took over Hicksville and we're going to be changing the alphabet system that you love so much, we're going to change it to a different system.
Oh, all right.
We're gonna use the Habibi system, which is very different than the alphabet, and then changing it. So you got names of states and names of trees and names of flowers. Bullshit.
Everything all right? It sounded like you crashed as you were talking. Just
no, that is me jumping for joy, and that's a pocket of love that just burst out of my heart.
That's fantastic. Now they have a private room upstairs at Peppercorns. Will you make use of that private room? They used to bring in murder mystery shows. Maybe.
Oh, really? They used to bring in the murder mystery shows. I love the murder mystery shows. I especially love one that's done by there's a company called Knockem Radio or Knockem Technology, something like that. I don't know. Something. Is that what you do? Is that the reason why you have your show every week?
That is correct, sir. Well, every day, pretty much. But
every day. Oh my God! Even Saturday.
Sometimes, yes.
Awesome. Yeah, I think I should leave the room for the Knockem Dead murder mystery because Mr. Tony Walker, you're a Class A gentleman. And then maybe you bring the Andy Plagainos. You bring him over there with you.
Yeah, I could do that. He actually worked with me last night.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. It's very nice. Very, very nice. Okay, listen, I got construction workers. We're going to start tearing down some walls. We're going to get rid of that dirty bar that's inside that people were slobbering and drooling on. And we're going to make the old place much better than what it was in Hicksville. So no more peppercorn for people over there. I'm very sorry, but enjoy the new building and the new people. It will be much joy to you.
Samshid, it was a pleasure speaking with you. It's been a while, so we're glad you called in.
Yes, very good. You have a wonderful day, Mr. Tony Walker, and you take care, Andy Plagainos.
Smell you later, Samshid. Hopefully.
Now, that was pretty racist right there.
That was. So here's the problem with doing like understanding doing like an ethnic kind of character.
What do you mean?
The reason why like Italian comics do a great job is because they are Italian and it is a lived experience, and so they're able, like, when they make a reference to something, it's a real reference to a real thing that people can identify with.
Okay, but
it's hard when you don't come from the culture to then. Because then it comes across as that, like, the Habibi method.
So then you can't do Kermit the Frog anymore.
No, I know what it's like to be a frog. I've fucked enough frogs in my life.
Oh, all right. That shuts me up. All right, so Grandpa met Grandma, and they lived in Long Beach.
And there was actually a thing that reminded me of locking gas cap. So he said coming out to Long Island was the first time he had a locking gas cap. Why did he need a locking gas cap first moving on to Long Island in the 50s?
Were people shoving stuff down the...
Sugar. They were sugar and sand. They were putting into the gas tanks of railroad workers because they saw them as coming in, because it was Pennsylvania Railroad owned the MTA. Before it was the MTA,
right, yeah.
Pennsylvania Railroad.
Yeah.
And that's how my grandfather was from Scranton.
Right.
Started working for the railroad in Pennsylvania. He was a freight conductor. He wasn't even a fucking people conductor, but they made him become a people conductor. And
why didn't they want him here? Was he
because
taking
they
their
they
jobs?
saw it as it's the classic. Anybody moves new to an area, it's looked at as they're taking our jobs. And the native Long Islanders, sort of your Dutch. I'm not talking about these fucking idiots who've been here like my parents moved out here or my grandparents moved out here. I'm talking about these people are like generations of being out here, not within. If you knew the person who moved out to Long Island, you're not a native Long Islander.
Okay.
The original native Long Islanders were like kind of Dutch and German.
Right.
1830s.
1830s.
Some English.
I think.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, because it was, people who lived here when it was Connecticut. What's it? Like their families moved here when it was Connecticut.
Oh, all right. When I said 1830s, if I'm not mistaken, isn't that around the time Long Island started to get
Yeah, but I'm talking about like the farmlands, like the strong, because we're talking Revolutionary War period. That's the Culper Spiring, like the Strong family, Strong's Neck, up by me.
Right.
Like that's.
No, you're right. Washington came through. He actually slept in a house in Hicksville.
And he stood on a rock in fucking Setauket. You know what I'm saying? Like these places are all over Long Island, and the people who lived here and whose families settled and stayed here. I'm talking about those people. And usually you could tell because it's the house that's never been updated, and it's got a fence around it, and there are cars parked on the lawn. Like it is our version of super trash. Because people moved out from the city and they wanted nice things. They wanted it to be nice.
Right.
That's the Italians and the Irish are the latecomers to Long Island in that sense. But yeah, they would fuck with railroad workers' cars. So he got a locking gas cap.
All right. So point being what? That everybody's been discriminated against?
No.
What's
It's
the relation
more
to
of
this?
like it's because it's things change. People move into an area, so you have like a huge South Asian population in Hicksville.
Oh, okay. Yeah, which I don't personally have a problem with.
Of course, nobody really has a problem with it until Peppercorns closes, and now it's like, wait, you know what? I don't like people that aren't me, so this is my opportunity.
I'll disagree. I've heard complaints. I mean, being a Hicksville guy, I have heard complaints for years from people.
Oh, no doubt. But see, for the rest of us to see it,
right? Okay, yeah.
It's when somewhere like a Peppercorns, if IKEA were to close,
which I would be personally doing a dance. I hate that place.
But see, I guess I'm showing how I don't know anything about Hicksville.
Right, I hear you. Even though you're an honorary member. I'm thankful I haven't seen any of that, but I'm unfortunately not surprised. I do think it's ridiculous.
So if you threw it, I'm like, what? Because it was one of those, because it was like most relevant, and I just see like a bunch of people like tagging people in it, like, oh no,
right, riling each other up. So now,
Beatrice, can you believe it? You're, we had your bachelor party, and but they're all fine. Like I said, like 50% of them. But I'm going through and I'm like, okay, like, yeah, that sucks. Place is closed. But then I get to one that was like right at the end of that grouping. That was, I can't believe the comments on this post, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I haven't seen anything. So I hit all comments on the thing. And I started going through it, and I'm like, holy shit. Like, you start going deep enough and whatnot, and it is bad. And I'm like, oh, there it is. There's that old NIMBY, Long Island.
Right.
All newcomers. That's what my grandfather used to say about people coming out to Long Island was, okay, I've moved here. No, nobody else can.
Right.
I made it out. Now stop.
I mean, I'll admit, Hicksville has changed quite a bit. There's a section of Hicksville that is actually, I don't think it's like an official thing, but it's known now as Little India. I don't have any dislike of the people, but their culture is just not anything that I get involved in. I don't particularly like the food, so you're not going to see me in any of these stores.
Right, I don't like food. I don't like food.
Well, exactly. That's what I
It's
mean.
only a necessity.
I'm not in a pizza place either. Exactly.
Right.
So you won't see me in any of these stores, but I don't care that they're there.
Yeah.
They're nice people, and see that's what's always got me. My argument has always been, well, what do you want? You'd rather have MS-13 move in?
Well,
these people are nice people. Who cares?
They want it to be the way it was when they were growing up. Everybody does. It's this nostalgia thing.
And there are certain stores that I'll remember. Oh, that this such and such used to be there, and I do miss those stores. I do miss, certain mom and pop stores that used to be around. Hicksville doesn't have like a downtown area, which I wish they did. But that's just nostalgia. But there are still plenty of Hicksville places where you still have the community feel.
Do you know where my favorite place to go in Hicksville is?
In Hicksville?
Yeah. All right. Why not?
What?
Because I was just going to say it, but now it seems like you're thinking about it.
You asked me, so
I
thought about it.
I figured it was just like a rhetorical thing, but you're taking it seriously.
Oh, you were joking?
So now I'm getting... No. I do have a favorite place in Hicksville.
All right.
Is the parking lot at Fat Jay's work.
You see, the thing is, I don't know where he works. I
He
know
works
he works in
literally-
Hicksville.
You know where that parkade is? Literally just south of the train station? Big parkade.
Oh, yeah.
Or it's an office building and it has parking underneath the building or whatever.
Right. No,
he works in that building. It's got part of the parking lot is like not covered, and it's hard to get. It's like, how do I get into that part of the parking lot? I always end up parking underneath the building and then go sitting in Jay's car and getting stoned with Billy.
Oh, that's why.
Billy was just talking about it. He's like, yeah, every time I go to see Jay, it's like we're smoking at least 3 doobers.
The first house that I owned in Hicksville was walking distance from there.
Oh, wow.
It was right around the block, yeah.
Did that sound like I cared?
Actually,
okay,
you sold it. You sold it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It was actually really nice because I could almost see, there's a phone company building right on that street where that garage is.
Yes.
And I could, if you look out of the phone company building, there's a side street right there.
Yeah, I've accidentally turned right onto that and passed the phone company, but I'm like,
oh, okay.
Fuck.
Yeah. So that side street, you make, all right, bear with me. So there's that side street. There's only 2 houses, and then there's another street. If you make that left, I was only 2 houses in.
Oh, wow.
So I was only 4 houses away from that phone company. So when I worked for the phone company, I used to park my truck in that parking lot, and then I would walk home and, sit, take a nap for 2 hours during my hour lunch break.
Nice. Tony Walker, next level.
Sticking it to the man.
That's some real union shit right there.
That's right, damn it. All right. John Rusciello knows the owner of Peppercorns. He says he's a great guy, and it's a shame that he's closing. He's I know Jimmy a little bit. He wouldn't know me by name. He might know me by face. I'm not sure. Bosie, the town that
I know you by the top of your head.
No, I look like a lot of other bald guys by the top. Oh, I got you now. I just got that.
I'm like, wow, he's kind of taking up the.
Yes,
I was 100% willing to let you go like the rest of the day, and then once we were off, and be like, by the way, I meant. And so you could not get any recourse to be like, it would be Monday and be like, listen, I just want to say when we ended things on Friday, Andy made reference about the owner of Peppercorns being able to recognize me by the top of my head. Yeah. That I really thought that we were going to have it was going to become a thing. So
yeah.
I'm glad that
it was almost there.
I'm glad that you got there, though.
All right, I'm going to just read comments because I'm a little behind on comments. I hate when people edit a clip when I'm oh, okay. Bosie says, good morning. That's not a bowling ball. Andy wears glasses.
All right, I guess I could see that.
Hicksville has a huge Indian population, yes. And again, who cares? So what? They're nice people. Indians as in Hindi, Bindi, Beanie, Weenie, or
yes.
Indians as in low? All right.
Not,
right.
Yeah.
Some sheet The smell you is amazing. Oh, my goodness. That's what it sounds like when I call customer service. All right. So, good thing I went back to check comments. I'm not reading half of them. This sounds like the guy that sold me my magic carpet. That caller probably smells like shit. Oh, my goodness. When I said huge Indian population, says Frank, I wasn't implying that they were abnormally sized.
Good, because I got worried. I'm like, I'm not going back to Hicksville.
I take Metamucil for a locking gas cap. Bosie, wow, you sound like that woman with the perm from Joyce. No, you can never be an Islander. There's no way. What?
What?
I don't know what he's talking about.
Whose comment was it?
Bosie. Oh, Jaws, not Joyce. Okay. You sound like that woman from Jaws. You can never be an Islander. There's no way.
Yeah, no, it's true. And even within towns on Long Island, Kings Park is a great place where you are not a townie unless your parents were born there. That's my wife was like, oh, I can never be a townie because my parents weren't born here, even though they were from Northport. Her parents were from East Northport.
But what if your family's been there for many generations and they kind of built roots there? That doesn't count.
Well, that's just it. If you're somewhere where your we always call it like the ancestral.
Yeah.
Like whatever. Anytime we're in Yorkville in Manhattan.
Yeah.
My brother and I will say something along the lines of we are in the ancestral homeland of the Plagaioni. Like that's where.
Right.
The Plagainos family was fucking from. Like that's where when they came off the boat, that's where they lived in Yorkville, and we had a few generations that lived in Yorkville.
All right. But what I'm asking, so like my mother's parents, my grandparents, they are the ones who moved into Hicksville.
Okay.
And in the I think around give or take 1950, around that time somewhere, late 40s, early 50s, Hicksville. A good chunk of Hicksville was still potato farms.
Yeah,
and
no,
still
unless that's the Kings Park. It's the Kings Park mentality of if your parents were born there, then that's otherwise you're just like everybody.
Right, but where I'm going
moved out here in the 50s. Like if half of this island moved out here in the 50s,
right?
Because that was the white flight out of the city,
right? With Abe Levitt and all that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is though. In a particular town, so my grandparents bring the family. They move into Hicksville. Hicksville, like I said, was mostly still farms at that time. My grandfather actually had a hand in building up Hicksville. He personally helped. Was one of the people that built Holy Family Church, which is still there and still looks exactly the same. Like that's establishing roots. So that's got to count for something.
For them, yes, but for you didn't do shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't do that. Like I know it's I know it's your family and everything like that. But I'm telling you, go to those original Long Islanders that actually lived out here before that white flight. They will tell you you are not a Hicksville native. It doesn't matter if you've.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm asking. Doesn't the fact though that your ancestors, my grandfather.
Oh, you think that I think this way, and so therefore I am going to make a judgment call on whether or not you're.
Well, you're representing,
but I'm not. I'm saying that
you're speaking for them.
I'm saying that I've run into this on Long Island, and it happens to me in Port Jeff all the time because, again, my family has been out since the early '50s, and I had between my mother and her brothers and sisters. There were 6 of them. They all went to Infant Jesus for K through 8. And, well, actually, my mom went, it just popped out.
Oh, damn
it. She went to, I can't remember the place. My cousin just got married there in Long Beach. She originally they originally lived in Long Beach in the government housing. And then my grandfather bought the land and built the house in Port Jeff Station. And it's so funny because there's people who because my name is Plagainos and it's not like a name that was thought of as being around since back then, they'll act like meanwhile their family came here in the 70s. It's like, right, I go through it all the time. Or like I have an uncle who was the first graduating class from Comstock. He was the class president of the first graduating class from Comstock.
Right.
Another uncle was the first first one to go 9 through 12 in that building.
Exactly. My mother was the first graduating class of Dutch Lane Elementary School.
So like to like a reasonable human being, you would say, "Oh, you're a native. Like this is your hometown. This is where you're from." But the people who were out here before, there's always somebody. Is I guess kind of my point. I'm talking out to my point. There's always somebody who is going to claim some sort of level of credibility beyond anything that you could do. There's nothing you could do to change where your grandparents were at any particular.
And I have no problem with that. Take your chunk. But
I'm saying
But yes, you are a part of Hicksville. Your family. You've had somebody in your family in this town since 1950, give or take. You guys are part of.
But usually the
community.
the person who is telling you you're not a native is also not a native. Like they're only if you listen to their rules or whatever, their rules are crafted for them to be the native. Like no, I'm like, dude. Okay, let's go even further back then. You're not really from here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like, this is America. This isn't, nobody's from here.
Exactly.
Like, there is no from. There's no such thing. You go back far enough. No, there's not being from anywhere.
Frank C's family, almost all the parents in my neighborhood when I was a kid were from Brooklyn and Queens. Also remember farms up Middle Country Road.
Yep.
Right. Exactly.
Where was he?
Exactly.
If he's talking about Middle Country Road, where Frank, where were you?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because if you're calling it Middle Country Road, you're out by me.
Right.
Because anybody who's from West calls it Jericho Turnpike, even where it's called Middle Country Road. Because I think that starts in Smithtown somewhere.
The town that I moved from, they actually had a flyer over in India telling people to move to that town as they proclaimed it New Little India.
Oh, kind of like San Remo and Sound Beach, where they were giving out parcels of land with magazine subscription or newspaper subscriptions. That there's all those on the North Shore. There's a bunch of enclaves of that sort of thing.
Fremder, my
He's Patrick.
Is he? Oh,
yeah. That's I'm grew up in Port Jeff Station. So.
Andrew Fremder, my proctologist is Indian. Luckily for me, during the pandemic, he was doing virtual visits. I don't get it.
He's trying to be funny. Because how can you possibly?
Well, I knew he was trying to be funny, and as usual, I don't get
it.
Yeah. Jerry, someday future generations won't even understand the mom and pop's concept for stores.
Yeah, why do they have to? I'm sorry. Why do they have to understand the concept of mom and pop? This is the poison of nostalgia. Is your entire worldview. You're you. You've been through your experiences. The world shaped you to be where you're at now. There's a certain point, and it happens to all of us, I know I'm going through it, where the world is not mine anymore. It is younger people's world. The world is doing different things. And just because it's different than my way doesn't mean that it's wrong, and it doesn't mean it's right either.
Well, I'm disagreeing, but not because of a nostalgia thing. I'm just not a corporate America guy, so that's how I'm reading that. I would hands down take a mom and pop store over some big conglomerate any day.
But again, that is shaped by your own upbringing and whatnot. If you had never known mom and pop stores, you would not miss it. It's a simple mental exercise. If you didn't know it even existed, you would never miss it because it never would have existed in your brain. It's just it's a fact.
Yeah, but that's not a nostalgia thing. That
actually is nostalgia. Your memory, like what you grew up with, and then saying to yourself, "Oh, it's a shame kids don't go outside and play anymore," because that's how you grew up, and that's fine. Then nobody's trying to take away your childhood. But what we try to do, and it's natural, it's what human beings do. As we get older, we look at younger generations and go, their music sucks. Oh, but really their music sucks. No, it's their music. This isn't your music anymore. It isn't.
Yeah, but these are two different things.
No, they're not.
Totally. If that's just a matter of opinion. My music was better than yours. Mom and pop stores versus... people now.
It's an opinion. It's 100% an opinion because on top of that, everything that Long Island, like all these people who claim the liberalness and whatever, like capitalism, is at the root of this. I remember when I left Long Island, there were I shouldn't say no chain restaurants. There were minimal amount of chain restaurants. There was no Kmart. We went to see Rain Man. They talk about Kmart. I'm like, yeah, you see it on national TV. You'll see the commercials for Kmart. There wasn't no fucking Kmart out by me. Not until I was like late teens, and they built the one on Middle Country Road in Middle Island. And that was the first Kmart I ever saw that was in New York. So I left shortly thereafter, and I came back, and it's all, Starbucks instead of local coffee shops and all this other stuff. Listen, everybody wants it. They want it. They all want it because otherwise they wouldn't pay their money to these things. That's Bosie ends up saying a thing about, here's my issue. If you don't support the business, it goes away. It's plain and simple. This is all one sentence, but I'm going to try to speak the fucking punctuation into it. I don't know if Andy would agree with me, but if society changes to where everyone endures first world problems, don't weep or complain about the past. And that is he's basically saying what I'm saying is that people accept things as they are.
Yeah, but it's not that cut and dry. I mean, you've I'm going to even assume that you've seen it where places like Walmart, how hard they make it for the mom and pops to stay in a certain area once they come in. So it's not just
once they could, but see, it's that once they come in thing. This is one of the funny things about they call our grandparents' generation the greatest generation, right? The World War II and everything, dude. They're the ones who let Walmart come in here. They're the ones who let all of those things happen. You know what? They legitimately are the ones who did that because they wanted cheaper things. They wanted they were just living their lives and not caring about. They just wanted the lower prices. It's a first world problem. It's a white person thing to be able to go, oh, kids should be outside more. I wish we didn't have so many smartphones and CCTV and red light cameras and whatever. And it's like, dude, this is always where we were going. Thank God the Suffolk getting rid of the red light camera. Do they have them in here in Nassau?
Oh yeah.
Well, I got December they will be gone. It's a friend of mine one of the comedians is like, hey, I just got a red light camera thing, and I know they're getting out, going to back out of it. When is that? I'm like, December. They're like, do you think if I just don't pay it until then? I'm like, dude, it's going to go to collections. Are you fucking kidding me? Yep. Matter of fact, that's what you're paying. You pay a collection company.
Oh, yeah.
You're not paying
the
government.
The courts. Right.
Yeah, you're not paying local government. You're paying a collection fucking agency. So no, don't do that. Please pay it immediately. I think it was it might have been Tansy. I was like,
oh, really?
I was like, just please, Mike, could you just fucking pay the thing? You don't have to think about it. But and listen, I'm not saying nostalgia is 100% bad, but we do need to recognize the moments when nostalgia shades things in a way that we judge other people based on, like Hicksville, like with those people moving in. It's nostalgia that people are fighting against. In their own minds, their own nostalgia.
I don't know if that's nostalgia or just racism.
Well, no, they're racist, so it comes out. The instrument they use is racism.
Well, all right, let me. So Bosie says, I will call bullshit on Tony. Are you going to sit there and tell me that you don't miss the Toys R Us store or any of the other stores like Sears? I do miss Sears, yes, for nostalgia, because I used to go hang out there and visit friends that were working there. Or I worked there for a short time. I had fun. When you're a teenager, you had nowhere else to go but the malls. So I do miss it for that reason. Miss it because I missed the store? No, I don't. I don't miss it. And then you mentioned Toys R Us. Well, there was a toy store not far from my house called Coronet. And I don't know why it was called that. Coronet. That's what it was called. I always went there. I didn't go to Toys R Us until there was no other place to go, whether it was just KB or Toys R Us. So, yeah, I am going to disagree with you, Jeff, and you can call bullshit on me all you want.
Well, see, you're slightly older than me, and Jeff's slightly younger than me, even. That Toys R Us, by the time I moved out here, there were no independent.
Exactly.
It was KB and Toys R Us.
That's what I'm saying. Those are your only choices
So
eventually.
to him,
but
his nostalgia is tied to Toys R Us for sure.
whether it is or not, he's just saying he's calling bullshit on me, so I'm responding.
But he can't even get outside of his own nostalgia to try to make his point.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's that pervasive.
But all I do is talk about the sweet shop in this place, and that's independent. That's a mom and pop. I talk about All American, and All American. Yeah, you probably are paying a little bit more than you're paying at McDonald's. But you know what? The food is so much better. I'll pay extra for better quality.
And we have pockets of those everywhere. But
Right.
eventually, it was kind of like, what was the place? The Good Steer. Speaking of Middle Country Road, right at the corner of Stony Brook Road and Middle Country Road. And Hawkins, Stony Brook Road becomes Hawkins there. But it's right short 2 blocks from Smith Haven Mall.
Yeah.
And it was there for years and years and years. And the people just were done. They were done, and now nobody's moved into. There's been work on it. There might be something coming, but these places, like, it's the natural order of things. Like, again, I go back to my family called that restaurant Morelli's,
Right.
when that was never the name of it. Hadn't been Morelli's since the 50s.
But my point is still the same, though. You get a corporate America that you don't get that community feel. The quality is
right,
as
but
good.
the world is changing.
Oh, sure.
And things like that community feel, that is a nostalgic thing. You remember what it was like, do you not? Remember what it was like for there to be a community feel.
Sure.
You liked that, yes?
Yes.
You wish that your kids could have that, yes? To feel like they are part of a community.
Yes.
But that's not where we're going. That's not what's happening. The world is not doing that. So nostalgia is poisoning your ability to accept what is happening. Not in a bad way, not in a violent way, not in a racist way. I don't want you to.
And I'm not disagreeing.
But it's uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable feeling.
I'm just saying that in this, when it comes to this particular thing, when it comes to mom and pops versus corporate, I'm not talking about anything else but that. I'm not talking about kids playing outside. Corporate versus mom and pops. I just don't personally see that as a nostalgia thing. I'm saying
if you had never experienced, if you were my kid's age now, you wouldn't know mom and pop.
Agreed, but
so you wouldn't necessarily have the same kind of feeling towards it.
But if
so
they experienced it, I bet you they would say that's better
because they would now become nostalgia for them. You are making my point over and over and over.
But no, I'm saying your kids, if they walked into it right now, it has nothing to do with this nostalgia. They walk into, if they did a.
And then they would walk out of there and want to recreate that feeling. Yes, that absolutely is feeling.
But I'm not talking about feeling. I'm talking about the fact that it's better quality. I'm talking about the fact that it financially was better. That's not nostalgia. That's a fact.
No, while that is a fact, the way we remember things is almost purely on emotion. Almost purely, every memory you have is almost purely an emotionally driven.
But again,
memory.
that's not. I'm not talking about my memories. I'm talking about take any mom and pop that I never walked into.
Right.
That it's
but
again.
How would you know?
Fine.
But then, how would you know? How do you know that a mom and pop is better than?
Ask them.
No. How do you know that mom and pop is a better system than the corporate?
That's what I'm saying. Take my personal feeling away from it.
But
you can go on the internet.
We're humans. That's what we do.
Go on the internet
there is no
and
such
read
thing as objectivity.
And read an article that says, I made this amount of money and I had regulars in my store and I had this and I had that. Now with corporate, they took this away, they took that away, they took the benefits. So my personal feelings have nothing to do with it. You could read an article about it.
Right, about somebody's experience with it. Their nostalgia, like it's,
but their experience is what proves that it's better. It just makes it fact.
No, because what always happens is you're never talking about mom and pop winning that situation.
Okay.
If you were talking like if, as a matter of fact, when there are small victories, everybody's like, yeah, little guy, and we have that naturally in our heads, kind of thing. But it is purely how we analyze that situation is through the prism of our own experience. You cannot escape your experience. It's impossible.
And that's what I said before. I'm not disagreeing with that, but it's
so
still
how you
a fact.
feel about that article that you read, because your feelings do matter in this. That is what nostalgia is. It shades everything that we do. And I'm not saying it's bad. It's all bad, but if we have to recognize that it's nostalgia, when you go, man, that's a goddamn shame that Peppercorns is closing, that comes from a place of nostalgia. It does not come from a place of because you don't even know what's opening there. So what if it's another mom and pop place? You don't know yet.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about, this place is closing, that sucks. I'm talking about you take a mom and pop store, and it says, okay, I had better health benefits before this place took over.
Before, right? Because
but that's just factual.
But even
this
if
place was doing better. That's a fact. That's not my opinion.
But if you take away that the new corporate thing came in and they experience a decline in good health care.
But that's not what I said.
No, but you don't. But
we're not going to throw ifs.
No.
It's a fact. This place came in and took my health benefits away.
Because you're making an assumption that there was a causation there, that place directly caused that drop in.
I'm not assuming anything. I'm telling you what an article says.
Yes.
The article listed as fact. If that's a lie, I'm not assuming anything. I'm taking the article for what it says.
No, you're reading it. You are reading it. Tony Walker is reading it, and it's through the fucking the neural fucking pathways that is Tony Walker, that make up Tony Walker. And so your reaction to it is not as you cannot say like coldly like I am human. I can make objective judgment over facts that are presented to me. It's impossible. No matter how much you want to say that it is not. You are Tony Walker. You have this experience in life and these neural pathways that have fucking developed over your life that make you Tony Walker. So when Tony Walker reads that article, Tony Walker, whether he consciously recognizes that he is having feelings about those things, it's still you and your experiencing this article and saying to yourself, well, that's a fucking shame. Because what if you're a different person? You're a Walton. You're one of the Walton family, and you read that same fucking article. How are you going to fucking look at that article? Yeah, motherfucker. Fuck those people. We came in and rocked shit. Right? Wouldn't you?
You lost me with the Waltons.
So you're Tony Walker. You read that article. You're like, oh, that sucks. One of the Walton family who own Walmart.
Oh. I thought when you said the Waltons, I'm thinking the family from the TV show.
The Waltons are like some of the richest people in America, in the world.
John's going to yell at somebody. I'm not sure who.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting.
Do it.
You know, what Andy, what Tony's trying to say and what you don't understand, stuff in America is destroyed.
Go on, please. Tell me what I don't understand.
Destroyed this quality of
nostalgia. You're making my point for me. Thank you for calling in.
No,
I appreciate it.
Your point.
You are.
No, let me finish. Will you let me finish?
I am.
Well, you're not.
Please.
All right.
Go on.
Stop being a jerk off. All right. Listen.
You too.
Right? The mom and pop stores were quality stores.
That's your opinion.
And when the Kmart's and the Walmarts and all these Sears, they were shit. You got shit products, but people embraced that. And the mom and pop stores was destroyed. All right, you have better quality of merchandise. You have better quality of food in mom and pop stores. You have better quality of service. All right, when I was a kid, I went to a mom and pop stores. If I had 5 cents to spend and something was 7 cents, they would give me, here you go, pay me back the next day. All right, or something like that. And I see you laughing.
I'm not laughing. I'm saying thank you. You have 100% made my point. Thank you very much, John.
How did I make your point?
Because you literally said the words I was waiting for you to say. Do you know what those words are? If I don't understand what I don't understand, can you figure out what you don't understand?
No, I lived it. I
right.
Because I lived it. And maybe you didn't live it, all right? But I lived the mom and pop stores.
Exactly. No, you're 100%.
I lived the mom and pop butcher stores.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Can you go, the only place on Long Island that you can go if you want a custom piece of meat, is Meat Farms. You can't go into ShopRite. You can't go into these butchers, or you can't go into these chain stores.
Cow Palace.
And say, could you cut this for me? All right, could you do this for me? That's mom and pop stores. All right, were like that, and people miss that, especially in my age.
Right. You're totally right. I agree with you. I 100% agree with you there.
Okay. Well, all right, and it's just like you mentioned Great American, Tony. All right, I was only a Great American 3 times in my life. I'm not from Long Island, as you very well know. I'm from the South Bronx.
Correct.
Rock and roll.
Great American, when I ate Great American, the quality of Great American was 10 times better than a McDonald's or a Burger King.
Right.
And believe me when I tell you, I was an avid patron of McDonald's and Burger King.
Yeah, I hear you.
Until somebody said, "Oh, you got to go. You're in Merrick, yeah. You got. I think it's in Merrick. You got to go to this Great American." I said, "Okay," and I went there, and it was fantastic. It was great.
Yeah.
But I've been there for, I guess, many years, over 50 years, and it hasn't changed. They don't change their quality. Same with peppercorns. I've had parties. My family's had parties in peppercorns. Food was absolutely fantastic, but we made a special menu, and they gave us what we wanted. You got another call. I love you. I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Thank you again.
I
thank you for helping me.
I'm gonna respond to John in a second, though. When all right, you're on the air. Who's this? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, my name is Kevin. I'm calling from Green Energy. How are you?
I'm sorry. You're calling from where?
I'm calling from Green Energy. If you are the homeowner, right?
What are your feelings on nostalgia?
Sorry?
How do you feel about nostalgia? The concept.
Nothing.
Nothing? You don't feel
Nothing.
anything about nostalgia? So nothing from your childhood? You don't miss anything from your childhood?
No.
Really? You know, like the way that your mother like hugged you and like what school was like and playing soccer or cricket or something like that? He's gone.
He's gone. Now let me tell you something. What just happened here? I'm going to get back to John in a second, but the reason I took that call is because
it was from Hicksville.
It said Hicksville, New York.
I saw it.
It
I
said
laughed.
Hicksville, New York. So I'm thinking, all right, this is somebody from Hicksville that's calling in that's going to talk about peppercorns. Not only, well, I mean, we all know it was a telemarketer, but it was a guy with an Indian accent.
Right.
How perfect was that?
Oh my God! It really tied everything. You should have literally went dark right after he hung up. You know, like that's it.
Yeah,
that's
right.
the end. Like
That's
people
it.
are like, I wonder what happened. Tony's been having problems with the equipment in there. Or whatever.
I guess some people think, well, they came and blew it up. So John, what happened was, so what Andy was saying is that you were enhancing Andy's
Let me
point,
make
because you were
something-
talking about how you remember things and you liked it better because you experienced it. I'm not arguing that with Andy. I'm arguing what's a fact and what's an opinion.
But see, how we interpret facts comes entirely. You cannot escape yourself. I listen, and let me make something perfectly
Right, but
clear,
that's what I'm disagreeing
because
with.
I think what he was saying. Oh, there's already been it's been proven we're not objective. That it's impossible to be objective. What I think he thinks, because a lot of people will end up. I've gotten into this conversation before.
Oh yes, you have.
People think that I'm defending the corporatization.
Oh no, I know you're not doing
but
that.
I think that's where I'm defending that. But it is. I will tell you, you get to that spot, and he had a hard time transitioning from when all of a sudden now Walmart and Kmart show up, and I guess people just wanted that more. That's the point. Is that the world is always changing, and nostalgia holds us back from that change. And I'm not saying the change is always good. I'm not. But I'm saying nostalgia is the conservatism of our own brains to stop us from making wholesale changes. That it keeps us from just blindly pushing forward and going, yes, corporate overlords, you know what is best for me.
Right.
When, no, what you need to know, the fact is they're just out to make money. How do you feel about that? Those people just out to make money. People say like, oh, a mom and pop store will be part of the community and whatnot. But they're kind of just trying to make money too. But they're just here, which is great.
Yeah, see, I disagree with that too. A mom and pop store, yeah, of course they want to make money.
I miss it. I miss that there were people in the community that owned businesses that I went to and whatnot.
Right,
I
but that's the
absolutely
thing.
miss that.
But it wasn't.
That's my nostalgia.
But it wasn't completely about the money. It wasn't completely about they cared about their community.
No, but see what does prove that everything was completely about the money is once there were lower priced things and we knew they were scumbags coming into our neighborhoods, selling the undercutting and fucking over our mom. We all knew it. It was in the fucking news. It's not like they weren't doing the fucking reports.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
So people wanted it. You know what, at Long Island, you want it the way that it is now. 100%. Who's this?
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
You're on the air.
Yeah, hey, Tony, it's Frank C.
Hey, Frank C., how are you, pal?
Good. So listen, Andy's making perfect sense, man. I'm like here listening. I'm like, yeah, I totally get it. What he's saying in a grander scheme of things, he's saying humans are inherently biased because of our experiences and because of the emotions that are attached to those experiences. So when we're thinking of nostalgia, like when we're thinking of things in the past that have happened to us that were good or whatever, those, instead of us being able to separate ourselves from that, we end up carrying that through as if that's a standard of something that, of course, can't be applied to anything now in the present.
Sure, yes, and I totally agree with that.
And Frank, you were totally welcome to come to my brand new cult.
Well, yes, I just got the running suit and the sneakers. I'm ready to go.
Nice, yes. Could you do me a favor and pick up some? I want to say it's Whalers because it's cheaper than Kool-Aid. And it doesn't have any sugar in it. There's no carbs in
so
Whalers.
We can call from the Comet Hale-Bopp when we have a chance.
The only point I was trying to make is that when you just look at if it's itemized and you look at certain things like I had health care before, I don't have it now. To me, that when you just look at it, something that basic, that simple. To me, that's not based on experience. That's just based on which one is better. That's all I was saying.
But the fact is that it's not available anymore. That standard is not available. So to the truly objective thing to do would be to accept it as a current reality and make decisions based on that.
To me, that's
and then circumnavigate around that.
Right.
Well, right. But to me, that's a whole different topic because then that leads to how do we make it right? What do we do about it?
What is right?
But I'm just saying which one is better. That's all. That's my point the whole time. Which one is better? Whether it's based on personal experience or not.
But your opinion of better is what. So the Waltons would say that that's not better.
But when
for them,
they would say that. But they're bullshitting.
Well, no, for them, no, they're not bullshitting. It is better for them. If
you just take it from a moral standpoint, regardless of you're the owner of Walmart,
morality is a subjective
somebody
thing.
having health care as opposed to somebody not having health care, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, but Tony, you're talking morality now, and
that's what I've been talking about
just from a completely objective viewpoint, where he's not really defending any of that.
I know he's not defending
the fact that the premise from the beginning was that nostalgia clouds our ability to focus on actual facts and how the history has kind of laid itself out. Because I can go back and say I remember a time when we used to, going back to Middle Country Road, when we used to drive up to Quarry Beach and Port Jeff, and we used to go through the farms and how awesome that was.
Right.
But is it really? Was it really? To somebody else, it might have been a fucking nightmare. You don't know.
You know how I always think of this, Frank, is when you're probably in the same age range, right?
I'm 60. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm 40. I'll be 49 this year. So
49. Jeez.
Well, I know I look like shit, but the what like movies like Star Wars, right? Do you remember when Star Wars came out? It was amazing. Everybody wanted to see it. Maybe you saw it 3 or 4 times in the theater, and then what ended up happening was it wasn't there anymore, and you couldn't get it. And then all of a sudden, when they released on VHS, everybody went apeshit.
Oh, yeah.
And then and then the CDs, laser discs of DVDs, and then all of a sudden there's streaming services. You can Disney Plus. You can go and watch any fucking Star Wars thing, and it is taken away from the specialness of it, and that's a nostalgic
it's so easily
feeling.
available. And yeah, I get you. I get what you say, because in quote unquote in the old days, it was an event.
Right.
It was sort of a keystone in your life that you could mark and say this was a turning point. Look, when I was a kid in 1981, I remember when Heavy Metal the movie came out.
Right.
And my best friend and I in high school at the time, we went to the Midnight Theater. I think it was in Oakdale, and we saw that movie, I think, 4 times in a row. Whenever it started, until like 3 a.m., we were there. And that was like such a huge event in our lives. But now it's like, I don't watch it.
Yeah.
I don't really, because I can just snap my finger and it's there. It's not the same.
Oh my God! You should see the Japanese cartoons that I can see now. All the tentacles raping women. But anyway, I digress.
You mean home movies?
Yeah. No, hentai. Hentai. If you're familiar with hentai, Google that, people. Hentai.
Wow. All right. That just. We went. To
I saw what time it was.
We have
it's time to go.
I could talk to
guys,
Frank
nice
for another
talking
fucking hour and a half.
I know you can.
So.
We'll bring Frank in another day.
Sweet.
Okay, be good, guys.
Thanks,
care,
brother. Thanks for calling.
Okay.
All right. It is time to go. We have Jersey Stench starting at 1 o'clock.
So I got to get the fuck out of here.
I'm surprised they're not here, and I haven't heard from them. So I don't.
You're surprised I'm happy.
All right. Real quick, let's go through this. Today is Friday. We got Jersey Stench coming on at 1 o'clock. We got Conversations with Don Sill today at 8 o'clock. His guest is Irene Bremis, great comedian, and she's going to be playing here at Governor's next week. Very excited about that. Speaking of which, got a lot of great shows coming your way at Governor's. Tonight, Chris Monty is in the Giggle Room. Tomorrow night, Chris Monty is in the Brokerage. Tomorrow night, Saku Ali, Frank Fiala, Ivory Fields, and a bunch of great comedians. They're in the Giggle Room. Also this weekend on a Governor's stage, hang on, I'm having weird to call. Okay. Also on a Governor's stage this weekend, Gaspar Randazzo, the Urban to Suburban comedy show. Claire Bowen and Jonathan Jackson from General Hospital, and Welly Jackson is at McGuire's this weekend. Don't forget, next Friday in the Giggle Room, Gov's Comedy Club Podcast presents Clash of the Island, Staten Island, Long Island. Mike Pachetti, Greg and Rob, Tony Landolfi, and Irene Bremis.
People should check out the Tony Landolfi Conversations. Was great. I watched the whole thing. It was so fucking great.
Yes, it was. So come see Tony next week, and come see Irene next week. Come see on July 25th. Come see this guy. He will not be talking about nostalgia.
Well, maybe I will now.
No, you don't. You want to get voted in.
I'm going to blow the light. It's going to be like 10 minutes on fucking, like, everybody's going to be throwing shit at me up at the end of it.
July 20th, Joey Cola is at Bohemia McGuire's. August 3rd, he's at Governor's here in Levittown. August 8th, Mark Hirschman and Chris Monty and myself and some other great comedians are playing Governor's. That's a special show for epilepsy. August 21st, I think it is, Mike Keegan's got a show at one of the clubs. And, of course, Knockem did comedy. We got a bunch of shows. One of the Brokerage in September. We got the game room, the game show in the Giggle Room. We have a murder mystery in December. And don't forget the Down and Outs, Saturday, October 5th, presented by Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. I'll be hosting that one. And last but not least, another Clash of the Boroughs, Staten Island and Astoria, November 2nd here in the Giggle Room, presented by Gov's Comedy Club Podcast.
Go Astoria!
Johnny McDonald, Karen Krentz, and Greg Criticos, that son of a bitch. That's on November 2nd. And that's it. We're out of here. I don't know if Don and I are going to be here this weekend. We have not talked about it, but if we do, we'll let you know. And do you have anything...
No, just next the 25th.
The laugh
please.
Right.
And if I make it through, then I'm going to be begging again. So
very nice.
If you need to hold off for the next one.
All right. There you go. I'm going to try and get there on the 25th.
I appreciate that.
John Brecko just walked in. Jersey Stench coming your way at 1 o'clock. So we'll see you in a bit. All right, everybody have a great day, and we'll see you later. Where's my graphic? Oh, there it is. Oh, whoops, that's not it.
Nice